I'm John Garrity for Sports Illustrated. Every summer I leave Kansas City to spend a week on what I consider to be the finest stretch of golfing ground in the world. It's not Cypress Point, it's not Pebble Beach, it's not even the old course at St. Andrews. It's the Carne Golf Links in County Mayo, the Republic of Ireland. I've told the story many times. I was on a golf trip in Colorado in 2002 when the golf architect, Jim Eng, told me that he had just discovered this unbelievably dramatic links course. He said, it's in the most God-forsaken corner of Ireland, a little town that nobody ever heard of called Belmullet. And when he said that, my jaw dropped. I'd not only heard of Belmullet, I'd been there. It's the place my Irish ancestors emigrated from during the Great Famine. But how in the world did Belmullet land a world-class golf course? To find out, I flew to Dublin and made the 5-hour drive to the northwest region known as Erris. And there, as Jim had promised, I found the most spectacular dunescape in golf, the Carne Banks. With Sports Illustrated photographer Bob Martin tagging along, I spent a week playing Carne in weather fair and foul. I fell in love with the course and the people, and now I go back every summer as regularly as the Swallows return to Capistrano. I even wrote a book about the place. So what's the magic of Carne? Well, it starts with the dunes. These are not the humble bumps that frame your British Open courses. These are sand mountains, nourished by waves and sculpted by hurricanes. The great Irish course designer, Eddie Hackett, looked at these dunes and vowed that God's work would not be despoiled by bulldozers and smoke-belching backhoes. Instead, he deployed a crew of local farmers wielding shovels, hoes, and rakes. That explains why Hackett's masterpiece took 8 years to build and why it will never look finished. Nature is never finished. And trust me, Carne is so much fun to play. There are 27 holes now, winding through, around, and atop the big dunes, and yet no two holes are the same. The par threes are enchanting, exploiting every feature of the landscape and calling for every club in the bag. It's a very challenging course when the wind blows, but it's a bit of heaven on a spring afternoon, when the butterflies are about and the banks are covered with wildflowers. Just don't expect to play to your handicap. Carne can wear you out, and sometimes the dunes make you feel small. But when you're on top of one, looking out at the sea and the two bays and the Belmullet rooftops, you can't help but feel grand. You're king of the hill. One of my Garrity kinfolk sums it up better than I can. When asked for directions to Carne, he just smiles and says, "We're at the end of the rainbow."